Slow down. Whatever you were doing before this moment, whatever your mind was carrying, whatever the day has put on your shoulders, whatever the week has accumulated inside you, just slow down. You don't need to put any of it down yet. You don't need to resolve anything or fix anything or figure anything out. Just slow down and stay here. Take one breath, a real one. Not the shallow kind that barely moves your chest. A full breath all the way down into your stomach, filling everything and then all the way out. Let it take as long as it takes. Now stay here, right here in this moment, because what I'm about to say to you is going to land differently than almost anything else you've heard today. And I want you present enough to actually feel it, not just hear the words pass through your ears, but feel them settle into the parts of you that need them most. I know you. Not your name, not the specific details of your life or the particular shape of your circumstances, but I know the deeper thing. I know the quality of what you carry. I know what it feels like to be you in this particular season of your life, in this particular chapter of the work you are doing on yourself and on the life you are building. You are someone who has been working, not casually, not the way people work when they are going through the motions. Actually working, pouring yourself into something that matters to you, something that you can feel with a certainty that goes deeper than logic, deeper than strategy, deeper than anything anyone could explain to you in a convincing argument. You can feel it in your body that this thing is supposed to be yours, and you have been showing up for it, consistently, repeatedly, day after day, with more discipline and more dedication than most people in your life will ever fully understand or acknowledge. And yet there is a part of you that wonders. There is a part of you, quiet, persistent, almost polite in the way it raises its hand, that asks whether it is enough, whether you are enough, whether the thing you are moving toward is actually moving toward you with the same momentum that you are moving toward it, or whether the distance between where you are now and where you are going is somehow larger than it appeared when you began. I know that part of you. I know how it speaks. I know the particular tone it uses. Not loud, not dramatic, not a voice that shouts. It whispers. It waits until you are tired, or until the day has been harder than expected, or until you have looked at the evidence for too long without seeing the result you were hoping for. And then it whispers, quietly, patiently, suggesting that perhaps something is wrong, perhaps something is missing. Perhaps you are somehow not quite the person this particular life was designed for. I need you to hear what I am about to say with every part of your body, not just your mind. That voice is not wisdom. That voice is not discernment. That voice is not your deepest instinct telling you something important and true about your situation. That voice is the residue, the accumulated residue, of every time the world moved slower than you deserved, every time the result did not match the effort you put in, every time you were genuinely ready and the moment simply was not, every time you showed up fully and the confirmation did not arrive on the timeline you needed it to arrive on. Your nervous system. Doing exactly what nervous systems are designed to do, doing its absolute best to protect you, trying to cushion you against a pain it anticipated returning. Built a small wall around your certainty, not to stop you, not out of anything that resembles failure or weakness, out of care, out of the instinct to protect you from the specific pain of expecting something and then not receiving it. But here is the truth about that wall. It is not protecting you anymore. Whatever it was protecting you from, that danger has passed. The wall is not serving its original function. It has become something else. It has become weight. It has become the thing that makes every forward step slightly heavier than it should be, slightly more effortful, slightly more exhausting. Not because the path is hard, but because you are carrying something that was built for a different season, something you no longer need, something that was never meant to be permanent. You have been carrying it so long that you have stopped noticing it. It has become part of the background of how moving through your life feels. And what I want to offer you in this moment is the chance to feel the difference. To actually feel in your body what it is like to set it down. Feel your body right now. Feel where you are holding tension, where you are tight, where there is a bracing. A subtle, almost invisible bracing. Against something that may or may not arrive. Your shoulders, perhaps, the muscles along your jaw, the place just below your sternum where the low-level hum of anxiety lives when it visits. The tightness across the back of your neck, the slight shallowness of your breath that you don't even notice anymore because it has been that way for so long. You don't need to fix any of it. You don't need to force it to release, just feel it. Just acknowledge it with honesty and with gentleness as you would acknowledge something in another person you loved very much. With full seeing, without judgment, without the impulse to make it wrong. That tension is the physical shape of the doubt. That is what it looks like in a body to be someone who is winning, who has always been winning, who was built to win, but who hasn't yet given themselves full permission to know it. Because here is what is actually true about you, and not what I want to be true for the sake of this moment feeling meaningful. Not a beautiful idea designed to lift you temporarily before life brings you back down. What is structurally, actually, undeniably true about the specific person who is receiving these words right now. You are still here. After everything that tested you, after every moment that contained within it the genuine possibility of breaking you, the genuine possibility of sending you in a different direction, of making you someone who chose a safer path or a smaller life or a quieter set of ambitions. After every season where the evidence was not cooperating and the support was not arriving and the confirmation was nowhere to be found, after all of that, you are still here, still moving, still showing up, still believing in something the physical world has not yet confirmed in full. Do you understand what that actually means? Do you understand how rare that is? The capacity to continue in the absence of external validation, to keep your internal fire alive when everything around you is wet and cold and not cooperating. That is not ordinary. That is not something most people possess. That is one of the most extraordinary things a human being can demonstrate, and you have been demonstrating it quietly and consistently in ways that no one may have acknowledged and that you yourself may have stopped noticing. Every single day that you got up and kept going was evidence, not of stubbornness, not of an inability to read the room, of something much more significant, of a person who is so genuinely aligned with what they are building, so deeply coherent with the life they are moving toward, that nothing the external world has produced has been sufficient to sever that alignment. That is who you are. That is the truth of you that was always there beneath the doubt. I want you to let something shift right now. Not a large, dramatic shift. Not the kind that announces itself with emotion or with ceremony. A quiet shift. The kind that happens in the part of you that is still and watchful and knows the truth before the mind catches up to it. I want you to consider genuinely, not as a performance of positivity, but as an honest inquiry. That you are not someone who is trying to become a winner. You are not someone who is working toward the identity of a person who succeeds. You are not in the process of building towards something that is not yet real. You are someone who wins. Present tense, unconditional, not contingent on what the next month produces or what the next conversation reveals or what the external evidence finally, eventually, confirms. Someone who wins, because winning is not a result. Winning is an orientation, a way of being in relationship with your own life and your own capacity and your own path. And that orientation, that way of being, has been present in you for longer than you have been willing to claim it. Look at the evidence honestly. Not at the outcomes, not at the scoreboard, not at the list of things that have not yet arrived. Look at you. Look at the consistency. Look at the character that has been revealed under pressure. Look at the fact that every time this path gave you a genuine reason to leave it, you stayed. People who are not built for something leave. Eventually they leave. They find the reasons, they find the exits, they find the more comfortable path or the more forgiving timeline or the ambition that asks less of them. There is no judgment in that. It is simply the honest reading of misalignment. When something is not yours, the mismatch eventually becomes undeniable and the departure becomes inevitable. You have not left. You are still here. That is not stubbornness, and it is not delusion, and it is not the inability to recognize when something isn't working. That is alignment. The deep, cellular, bone-level alignment of someone who is on exactly the path they are supposed to be on, doing exactly the thing they are supposed to be doing, in exactly the process of becoming exactly the person they were always in the process of becoming. You were built for this. Not chosen arbitrarily, not handed this particular path by some random lottery, not accidentally standing in front of this particular mountain rather than a different one. Built for it, the specific experiences that shaped you, including the difficult ones, especially the difficult ones, were not obstacles placed in the path of someone who was supposed to have an easier journey. They were the material, the specific, precise, perfectly calibrated material required to construct a person capable of holding this particular level of life. Every period of waiting that felt like stalling was loading. Every season of difficulty that felt like punishment was compression. Every moment of uncertainty that felt like being lost was the disorientation that comes just before something reorganizes into clarity. The building was happening the entire time. You simply could not see the blueprint from inside the construction. The building is done. Feel that. Not in your head as an interesting idea. Let it travel. Let it move down from your mind into your chest, into your stomach, into your hands, into the soles of your feet. Feel what your body does with that sentence when you actually let it land. The building is done. You are not still becoming who you need to be in order to deserve what you want. You are not in the waiting room of your own life, filling out forms and hoping to be called. You are not the draft version of the person who gets to have this. You are the person, right now, in this body, with this history, with every scar and every lesson and every moment of showing up when it would have been easier not to. You are the person. Already equipped, already capable, already in the deepest sense of the word, worthy. Not because you finally did enough to earn it, but because worthiness was never something this path required you to earn. It was always the baseline. It was always the starting point. You simply accumulated over time the layers of doubt that made it feel conditional. That made it feel like something you were still approaching rather than something you were always standing in. Let me say something about what winning actually is, underneath all the noise that surrounds the word. Winning is not a moment of external confirmation. It is not the instant the call arrives or the number changes or the door that has been closed finally opens. Those moments are real. They are beautiful. They are coming. But they are not the definition of winning. They are the confirmation of something that was already true. Winning is an internal condition, a particular quality of relationship with yourself, a way of moving through the world that says, without apology and without needing the external world to agree, I trust what I am building. I trust who I am in the process of this. I trust that what is mine is moving toward me with the same certainty and the same inevitability that I am moving toward it. I am not begging for an outcome. I am not hoping for permission. I am someone who belongs to this life fully, who claims it fully, who moves through it without the apologetic slight lean backward that comes from not being entirely sure you are allowed to be here. That is winning, and that is available to you right now, not when the confirmation arrives. Now. Feel what it is to be someone who does not wait for the external world to rearrange itself before they stand fully upright in their own identity. Feel what it is to stop racing and start inhabiting. Feel the difference in your shoulders right now between the posture of someone who is hoping and the posture of someone who knows. There is a version of you, not far from here, not requiring a significant journey to reach, who moves through every single day from that place, who gets up in the morning and does not first check the evidence to see whether they are still allowed to feel powerful, who engages with every challenge from the identity of someone who has already, at the deepest level, won, and is simply watching the physical world catch up to that truth in its own time. That version of you is not aspirational. It is not the you that exists after enough time has passed or enough results have accumulated. It is the you that exists when the weight of the accumulated doubt is finally set down, when the wall comes down. Not because the world became safe enough to lower it, but because you understood that the danger it was built to protect against is no longer real. You are not behind. Nothing has gone wrong. You are not someone who almost makes it, who gets close and then watches the thing pass to someone else. You are not someone the universe is withholding from, testing cruelly, making wait longer than necessary out of some design you cannot understand. You are someone in the middle of a story that has already been written in your favor. And the middle of every great story looks like uncertainty. The middle is where the evidence is thin and the distance feels large and the doubt has the most room to operate. That is simply the nature of the middle. But you have never been someone who read only the middle of the story and concluded that it was the ending. You have always known, somewhere beneath all of it, how this goes. You have always carried the quiet knowing, not loud, not always available, sometimes buried deep beneath the weight of the difficult days, but always there, always present, always the thing you returned to when everything else fell away. That knowing is not naive. That knowing is not wishful. That knowing is the most accurate thing in you, more accurate than the doubt, more accurate than the evidence of the difficult season, more accurate than the voice that whispers that something might be wrong. That knowing is you recognizing your own story clearly. Take a breath now, a slow one, the kind that fills everything. And as you breathe out, let your body receive what it has been waiting to receive for longer than you realize. You were made for this, specifically, deliberately, with precision and purpose, made for exactly this path, this work, this level of life. You are ready for it. Not almost ready, not nearly ready. Ready right now, as you are, with everything you have and everything you are. The life that is coming toward you is not something that was allocated to someone else and might spill over to you if you are fortunate enough. It is yours. It carries your name. It was shaped by the specific contours of your journey and your character and your particular way of engaging with the world. The only thing left, the only thing that was ever required, is to step fully into the center of yourself, not slightly to the side, slightly apologetic, slightly uncertain about whether you are allowed to occupy this particular amount of space. The center, upright, present, certain not because the world has confirmed it, but because you have finally stopped requiring the world to confirm what you already know. That person, the one at the center, standing fully in their own identity, moving without the weight of accumulated doubt. That person wins, not eventually, not conditionally, by nature, inherently, because they are the full expression of something that was built specifically for this, And when something operates as the full expression of what it was built for, the outcome is not in question. That is you. Right now, in this moment, in this body, with this history. You were built for this. You are winning. Welcome to the version of yourself that has always known that.